Welcome back. Well, it is another dreary, miserable, rainy day. In fact, I'm sure you're going to be able to hear the rain in the background. It's just beating against the windows. But, what can I say? You can't change the weather. All right, I wanted to share with you what I've been up to lately, seeing as I can't go out and shop. We'll be right back. Well, as I mentioned before, pretty much everything that I had purchased in the past is already in my Etsy shop. I think I have 3 or 4 other things to list. In fact, I'm going to start listing some of my fans because, and by that I don't mean the people who run up to me asking for my autograph. And nobody does that, by the way. Nobody. If somebody wants my autograph, they want it on a check. But I had been, in fact, listing fans, and then I stopped for a while, and now I'm going to do it again because I've got them. They're here. That's not something I need to rely on open thrift stores for. But as for everything else, yes, nothing is open. Even if something were open, we're not allowed to go shopping, So I've decided I need to address the situation. So I am online shopping. And I wanted to explain how we do this because we've talked about this before. And I have told you that you can go to eBay or Etsy. Today we're going to talk about Etsy. We've talked about eBay. And I've given you specifics about items I've purchased for eBay and turned for several times what I paid for them. We're going to talk about Etsy today, and I'm just going to let you know what I got, what I plan to do with them. Yes, you can come up if you want. You can, but do not whack against the camera. Come on. All right, you can come up, but don't. He is threatening to knock the camera. That's what he's threatening to do. Come here. Come on up and say hi. See, there. There you go. You want to say hi? I know. You love being the star. All right. And now I'm going to let you go. And because I put you on camera, you're not going to knock anything over, right? Yeah. All right. All right, my sweet boy. Anyway, I'm sorry. I totally distracted myself. It's Monday morning. We're all allowed to distract ourselves on Monday mornings. We have talked in detail about things I had purchased on eBay that I had been able to turn for a profit, and I thought we would talk a little bit about things that I did, I ordered today from Etsy that I am absolutely going to be able to turn for a profit. You are messing up my hair. Yeah, you can see I'm desperate for a hairdresser too. Yes, this is just, it's getting sad. It's doing whatever it wants to do, or whatever the cat's tail wants it to do. I know, you don't need sitcoms, do you? You just have the cat beating me to death with his tail. Believe it or not, he really does like me. This is actually affection. It's not aggression, it's affection. He snuggles me with his tail. It means something to him. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, that cat kills me. He really does. Okay. Straight face. Etsy. What I thought about today and what sparked this whole thing is I really need to get back to work on my Tidbit trays. I enjoy making them, and I've started getting requests for Tidbit trays in certain colors. It's like, well, do you do colors? Can you do this or that? It's like, well, yeah, if I can get plates. And right now, all I have in the way of plates are that classic blue and peach lusterware. And we've talked about that when we've discussed lusterware. Blue and peach, those are the classic colors. You find lusterware, there's going to be blue, there's going to be peach, and that's like 90% of it, at least in terms of Japanese lusterware. They had a broader color palette in Europe, but in Japan, blue peach, that was mainstay. So I realized I need to get some more plates. Yes, all right, you can come right back up here. All right. He's looking out the window. It's raining, and it's apparently very exciting. You can see the tail. Okay. So what do I look for when this is going to be an overlong video because I just keep stalling and stalling and stalling. Every time I get going, 3-4 words, the cat comes, distracts me. I got to start all over again. I'm probably going to go in and edit most of this out because, or maybe I won't. You know what? I'm not going to. This is my life. This is life in lockdown. The most exciting thing that's happening for me is my cat is banging his tail against the wall. Okay, here, I said it. It's out there. This is my life. I'm sharing it with you. So anyway, back to Etsy and the dishes. I need dishes for my Tidbit trays, so I went on Etsy and I threw in just one word, lusterware, and just started going through the listings. And one of the reasons that I chose lusterware is I believe that the lusterware Tidbit trays sell better. May not be true. It's a notion I've got in my head, so I'm running with it. And it gives me a starting point. What I did from there was I went through every lusterware listing that came up. And there were a lot of them. This is not something for the faint of heart, but believe me, it can be done. So what was I looking for? I was looking for collections of plates, sets of plates. When I would see something lusterware, cup and saucer, bang, next one, and just skip. There were a great many, just plates and so on. And of course, I have to tell you, some Etsy sellers, my goodness, it's just wishful thinking, the kind of money they want for a lusterware plate. It's like, oh, that's a lovely little lusterware plate, but do you really think somebody's going to pay you $46 plus shipping for it? Well, good luck to you, because I can assure you, I can't get that for it. I'd be surprised if you could. So I go through looking for collections, sets, aggregations. Remember, that was one of our words of the day, because I don't need them to match. I don't need it to be a set. I don't need it to be a collection. I need it to be somebody's lusterware leavings. I need it to be somebody's, they cleaned out grandma's china cabinet. They sold everything they could match up, and now these are the leftovers. That's what I'm looking for. In fact, I would prefer that, because that gives me more variety than I would get if I bought a set. I'm also looking for a price point. The price point I'm looking for is under $5 per plate. I will not go over $5 unless I really, really need a certain plate for a certain purpose. Maybe I'll consider it. But in general, it's got to be under $5 a plate. What I'm looking for is around $2 a plate. And that is not just what the seller is charging for the item, but I've got to factor shipping in too. So, I ended up, by the way, with 3 sets of china, lusterware china, in different color combinations. Yay! Because I need that variety. Otherwise, I'm making identical Tidbit trays, which I don't want to do. Sometimes I will do identical trays. If I do, I have to reduce the price because people are not getting a one-of-a-kind work of art. They are getting, could you please not do that? Just please. They're not getting a one-of-a-kind work of art. Let that alone. He's playing with the stuff on my desk. That's what he's doing. He's looking for attention, and he's just banging stuff around because he wants my attention. He wants me to go over there and pet him. Yes, I love you, but it's not going to happen. You just stay there and be good. So actually, this was very nice with 3 different sets. The first one was 12 pieces for a landed price, and this includes shipping and taxes, of $23 and some odd cents, almost $24. Right there, $2 a piece, obviously 12 pieces, $24. There was another set that was 20 pieces for $30, which of course is even better, and a third set that was 14 pieces for $30 and change. So that was just about $2. It was like $2.02 or whatever. It was very close to my $2 mark. But because I had done better with one of the other collections, I was fine with that little bit over. And as I say, my cutoff point is $5. My goal is $2, so I was extremely pleased with this. So what am I going to do with the stuff? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is when it comes in, and they may come in, in fact, it's quite likely that they will come in separately. We're just going to video this. I'm just going to open the box. You're going to get to see them. I'll show you what they are, why I bought them. Obviously why I bought them is I need plates for Tidbit trays, but what I plan to do with them, because some of them have additional pieces that can be sold separately. Because right now, if you go into my Etsy shop, you will probably see salt and pepper shakers. That's about it. It's just, oh, and if I get cracking, you're going to see salt and pepper shakers and fans. But I'm looking at this thinking very soon I'm going to have to shut down my shop. I figure I've probably got another week. And then at that point, there's nothing new to put in my shop. That means whatever is there, if it's not selling this week, it's not selling next week either, And at that point, I'm going to start to consider closing it because what can I say? Online selling is dependent on being able to turn your stock, to put new things in. And, there are things I can do. I can go in and I can drop prices, but that's usually part of a combined strategy. When things are not selling in your shop and you go in, you can drop prices. It's one thing you can do, but you really need to take some of that out and put some different stuff in. Rotate your stock, change things up a bit. Just dropping prices across the board is not what I would consider to be your best bet, because that generally tells people that you overpriced your things to begin with and that you don't think they're worth what you're asking for them. It needs to be part of a more comprehensive strategy. If you take some things out, put some new stuff in, drop the prices on a couple of items, you've really shaken things up, given people something new and different, a reason to go in, look around, and if they see that something is 10% off, a little sale, great, maybe that will stir up some business. But right now, I don't know. I suspect we are all in this kind of situation. I know Jocelyn is feeling that she's running out of things to sell. In her case, it's very good, because it's forcing her to clean out some boxes that she really needs to clean out. It did the same thing for me. It forced me to clean out my kitchen. Now my kitchen is clean. Thank you very much. And now it's time for them to open the thrift stores and let me get back to business. What can I say? But when the stuff comes in, we're going to look at it. We're going to open the boxes. I'm going to be able to tell you what it is I plan to do with things. Some of them will become tidbit trays. Other items will be sold on their own. That's another thing I usually try to do. If I want plates, but I can find plates with a nice tea set, like the teapot and creamer and sugar, great. I don't need the coffee cups and saucers. At that point, I can just pull those loose plates out. And you can very often get really good prices on incomplete tea sets that have like one coffee cup or one teacup, 2 saucers, 5 bread and butter plates. Nobody's really interested in that. Will somebody be interested in the teapot, the creamer, and the sugar? Oh, yes, absolutely. What if there are lovely salt and pepper shakers? Well, I love my salt and pepper shakers. Great. So we're going to talk about the stuff that will come out of these purchases. But right now, that's what I've done. I did that on Etsy. Now, on eBay, when I do this, well, it's eBay. Usually, it will not be like 3 separate purchases like this. Usually on eBay, I will end up looking for 3 or 4 days, just combing, listing after listing after listing, looking for the one big purchase, 60, 70, 80 pieces. What I have coming in is about 50 pieces, roughly, through 3 purchases, 12, 20, 46. Okay, that's what it is. I actually remember one was 12, one was 14, and one was 20. So it's 46 pieces in 3 separate purchases. And we'll go into it, like I said, when they come, give you all the details. When I do this on eBay, I'm usually looking for much larger sets, 50, 60 pieces. And the reason for that is eBay and Etsy are different markets. It's very difficult to get head-to-head comparisons between eBay sales and Etsy sales. If these same items were on eBay at the same price, I would think somebody like me would have scooped them up already. But hey, who knows? I have no idea how long these things were on Etsy. For all I know, they could have been there for 6 months, and I just decided to look for them today. Same thing with what goes on eBay. There are times when I will watch sets going through 2 or 3 listing cycles. No bids the first time out. It's in my watch list. I'll take a look. No bids the second time out. Then the third time I'll throw in a bid. You just never know why things will sell like this. But it was a different purchase. So I want you to stay open to this too, because obviously you can do this. But we're going to go through this, the whole process of the purchases I'm buying on Etsy today. Today I paid for them. They're going to be shipped out to me. I imagine all 3 of them are going to go in the mail tomorrow, and I would imagine all 3 of them are going to arrive at my door sometime in the coming week. So we're going to be able to follow this straight through. With any luck at all, many of those pieces will be showing up one way or another in my Etsy shop by this time next week, either because I've pulled out a nice creamer or sugar from one of those sets, or because I'm turning them into tidbit trays, grabbing a piece from one set, mixing it with a piece from another, and so on. So that's what I'm doing. I strongly, strongly encourage you to consider the same thing, because if I can do it and make money at it, so can you. Why should I be able to do it and you can't? We both got the same resource, Etsy. We go in with our computers. Some of you will go in with your cell phones, which is, gee, you're better than I am, because I can't do it on my cell phone. I need my computer to do this. We go in and just find something, grab it, bring it back, and resell it. And some of these things, I'm not even going to do anything to them. Most of them, yes, I am going to turn them into Tidbit trays. But some pieces, I'm simply going to take them out and say, oh, look, yeah, obviously I'm going to wash them, but other than that, they're just going to go straight into my shop. So let's watch this. I want you to follow along with me, because I'm not kidding. If I can do it, you can do it. It's entirely possible to continue to make money thrifting, even under incredibly repressive conditions like we have right now. So stick with me. We will do it. Now, how about some word origins? Yeah. All right. Yes, you too. Yeah, I'm going to see if they have a section on cats, just so you know. All right, stay right here. All right. Well, okay, there we go. We are still in the section of women. So let's take a look. Oh, no, you don't want to take a look at my coffee. All right, stay right here. Let's take a look at buxom. Once meant obedient. When we call a girl buxom, we mean that she is fat. Okay, we're going to break away. No, we don't. That's not what buxom means. That's not what it means today. It's not what it meant in 1950. It means and meant bodacious tatas. I got that from an officer and a gentleman, by the way. We all know what buxom means. No, it's not fat. It's different. It's definitely different. But when a British bride of early times promised to be buxom and bonny to her husband, oh, and by the way, it was often buxom and bonaire, B-O-N-A-I-R-E, which came in from the French, meaning pleasant and a good attitude. And that was in Henry VIII's bride's wedding vows, just in case you were interested. Anyway, the British bride of early times promised to be buxom and bonny to her husband. She didn't mean that she was going to put on a few extra pounds. The word buxom, or boussom, as it was then spelled, this seems to have come from bougan, meaning bend, and therefore pliant, pleasant, and kindly. It was customary in that era to talk of being buxom, that is, obedient to the judges, or even buxom to the Pope. Then later the meaning turned to blithe and gay, still later to be full of health and vigor. But now the original bend has gone into the curves of her figure, and a buxom girl is just pleasingly plump. Not quite. Actually, buxom meant compliant, but it meant compliant in a sexual sense, because those marriage vows that said buxom and bonny, the rest of it was at bed and at board, meaning compliant in the bedroom, and at board, meaning at table, because in fact, that's all a table was a board laid out on some supports. And of course, at table in general meant in the household. So yeah, there was definitely a sexual connotation always. And I guess that dear Mr. Funk was perhaps a little too prudish to say so, or perhaps did not know. So anyway, he has an issue with women, so what can I say? Caprice. Oh, here's another good woman word. Like a goat. 100 years ago, the British author Thomas de Quincey wrote somewhat superciliously, "Everywhere I observe in the feminine mind something of a beautiful caprice, a floral exuberance of that charming willfulness which characterizes our dear human sisters, I fear, through all the world." This left-handed compliment makes women seem attractively feminine, and yet when a girl is capricious, her actions are reminiscent of the lowly billy goat. The word caprice comes through the Italian capriccio, from Latin caper or goat. So when a girl is capricious and cuts up capers, she is imitating the frisky, playful antics of the male cousin of a sheep. He actually had the nerve to say that another writer was giving left-handed compliments to women. My goodness. I do. I think I'm going to go figure out where he's buried and just dig him up and beat him. Yeah, it won't stop any of this, but it'll make me feel a little better. Chaperone. Once a cape. In the late Middle Ages, the word chaperone, a French word originally from late Latin capa, meaning cape, referred to a hood that was worn by men and women generally. One 17th century author comments rather sourly on girls tricking up their fronts with chaperones and powdered hair. The chaperone was part of the costume of the Knights of the Garter when they were in full dress, and probably, since knights were court attendants, the word chaperone changed to mean an escort. Now a chaperone is more generally a matron who acts as a protective escort for young unmarried women in public. Charm, formerly a danger word. If a girl were called charming in 14th century England, you could be pretty sure she was headed for the torture chamber or to a horrifying trial by ordeal. The charm that is now courted by every woman would be sure at that time to bring complete social ostracism. We inherited this word from the French charme, which found its source in the Latin Carmen, song, usually a wicked chant or incantation of magic power, like that of the notorious Lorelei. And there was also the charm that was worn to ward off evil, the progenitor of the innocent charm bracelet that has been worn by women since the 1860s. Even as late as the 16th century, we uncover the quotation, "The serpent stoppeth his ears with her tail, to the end that she may not hear the charms and sorceries of the enchanter." But by Shakespeare's time, the word carried a good deal less weight, and now it is a high compliment to tell a girl that she has charm. So, that's what we've got for you today. Now, have a great evening. Stay safe. Stay sane. I will see you all tomorrow. Remember, leave comments. Reach out to one another. This is a rough time for all of us, but, don't lose sight of the fact that we're all here for each other. This is a community. If you need, you can just reach out. Somebody will reach back. Okay, see you next time.